with the skill sets necessary to, get into the job market and to become power players, not just, pawns on the chessboard. Karibu sana Mumbi.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's so good to have you in studio, to see you after such a long time. I'll begin by just asking what opportunities in the last few years, because I know COVID did quite a number on how we work, how we think, how we play, everything. So what are the new opportunities that have come through in tech in the last few years?
All right. So much. So I think, just as you mentioned, COVID accelerated the need for digitization, especially for Africa, and the whole world in general, because it showed us there's a huge in terms of talent for technology. So we were adapting quite slowly, and we can see a lot of businesses were affected, especially in Africa. So the opportunities that have come up recently are very many, both good and bad, because I think there's always a flip side to everything. If we look at, for example, artificial intelligence, everyone is talking about AI and the benefits of it. But I think now, post-COVID, there's been an acceleration in terms of, how efficient and how fast can machines do things, and how much do they know about us as people. So I think there's a huge opportunity for AI, especially in Africa. Especially looking at the information in terms of data. There's not much data on Africa across the world. There's not enough data that has been collected. So right there's a huge opportunity, for young people to learn machine learning, how to do, a collection of data, how to aggregate it, because that's what the machines will use for artificial intelligence. But just looking beyond that, there's a huge space also in the Web3 ecosystem where everybody's talking about blockchain, just demystifying what blockchain is beyond, these conversations around cryptocurrencies.
Yes.
Everyone thinks it's a scam. So, blockchain has, come to show us, there's a huge need for transparency in Africa. So using blockchain for smart contracts and things like that, it's a huge opportunity for a lot of young people to get into that space, especially, and it affects very many areas of our lives, from healthcare to democracy and governance and all of that. So
I like what you're saying, because the whole conversation about Africa being a little bit slow on catching up with tech has been there. But yesterday I was watching a documentary by DW, and it was talking about how only China and the US have mastered, or they're actually developing a little bit faster than the rest of the world when it comes to AI. And Europe is trying to catch on. Do you think that Africa has a higher chance, given the population that we have, has a higher chance of overtaking maybe Europe in terms of pace? Najua wanatushinda sekta ya do, but in terms of pace, is Africa really adapting faster than maybe
and our
maybe
youth
Europe?
population?
Hawezi tushinda hapo.
For sure. So I think there's many factors to look at beyond population, because the thing about Africa, we have very many, but very few people are actually qualified, if I can say that, educated and qualified. So you might find that there's a small population in Europe, but they're very well educated. So in terms of catching up also, that affects a lot. And I think that's why we design programs like Powerland, so to help us create opportunities to catch up faster. Innovative education is more important. So I don't need to spend 4 years in school anymore. If I can do something and learn something within 4 months, become very good and start earning from it, I mean, why not?
Okay.
We're getting back into the music, but when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the work that Powerland Project is doing and how to bridge the gap between what the market needs and what is currently being, churned out by the education system. We've got Love Like This by Zayn, Alafu Nyanda with Trouble. Only one half of Brick and Lace. You get so confused. You're like, is she Brick? Is she Lace?
Are you Brick? Are you Lace? And then people asking, how do you name yourself Brick and Lace?
We need to actually.
But we had Radio and Weasel, so
same.
It's just you and someone. Mariam and Brian. Yeah, it goes on and on and on.